Tim Tebow is one of the most iconic college football players ever. During his time at Florida playing for the Gators, he rewrote the record book, was the first sophomore to win the Heisman, and brought something totally new to the QB position with his power downhill running style. He was inserted into Urban Meyer's college spread scheme to make one of the most memorable college offenses ever, and I'm going to recreate it for you to use in Madden 23. And in this video, we will break down 9 plays in 3 different formations. Now, what made Tebow stand out from other spread mobile QBs was his downhill in between the tackles run game. It brought a physical element to the Gators that was totally unique. Now, the first play we are breaking down is QB wrap in spread double flex. Now, I usually want this run going to the wide side. Once you snap the ball, you will see a play fake to the running back, and you will have a tackle pulling across the formation to become a lead blocker and let him pick up a block, and you can finish off this run with some power just like Tebow would. But this can also be one of the most explosive QB runs in all of Madden 23. I'm averaging almost 12 yards per carry on it, and you can bust this to the outside, and the blocking works really well, and you can rack up so many explosive yards, and there really isn't an easy counter for this run defensively. While at Florida, Tebow was able to be an absolute force running the ball, rushing for just under 3,000 yards and had almost 700 carries while terrorizing SEC defenses over 4 years with 3 years as a starter. The next play we are looking at is the read option in pistol spread. On this play, we have the option going to the wide side, then you want to take the backside slot player, motion him across the formation, and with this motion, you can actually cancel out the read defender. So once you see the read icon leave over the player's head, you want to snap the ball, and now you'll see this read player gets blocked, and this will turn into a QB power. Now, you can bust this to the outside and get to the edge and then get physical and finish this run off, or you can take it up the inside and get downhill right away with your quarterback. It all just depends where the holes open up. But then if at the snap you don't like anything to the outside, you can hand it off to the running back up the middle and get downhill with your running back right away. Now, this Tebow scheme is all a part of my ultimate mobile QB offense, where I take some of the best mobile quarterbacks ever and recreate their offenses in Madden 23. Now, there are a total of 6 on the way, and if you want to check out everything that I have released so far, I will leave a link down in the description below that has a playlist for everything that is out so far. Now, all of these schemes, including the Tebow one we are breaking down today, are based out of the Ravens Playbook, so really they are all meant to be used together and combined into one giant scheme. Now, to balance out the power of Tebow, the Gators needed someone attacking the edge of the defense, and that's where Percy Harvin came into play. A truly electric weapon who is the perfect lightning to Tebow's thunder, and he could hurt you on designed runs or catching passes all over the field. Now, one of the best ways they got Harvin out in space was bubble screens, and for this we are going to use zone alert bubble in pistol spread. Now, here I will usually have the bubble to the wide side. Now, the main time I will go to this play is if they are collapsing their defense down to stop my QB runs on the inside. Then we're going to have a 2-on-1 on the outside, and I just want to flip it out on the edge to our bubble and let him make a play in space. Then if they keep their defense spread and they don't collapse down, then we have this inside zone run that can be a really good way to attack up the middle and rack up some solid yards. The next concept they would use is jet motions. This is where Tebow could flip it to Harvin, let him attack the edges of the defense with a ton of speed and make them pay in space. Here we'll look at jet pass fake zone and pistol spread. Now, once again, I like to run this to the wide side, and this is a great way to get one of your fast receivers in space and adds a lot of balance to your heavy inside runs. I especially love this if they're pinching their defense down and you can get to the edge and get super explosive on the outside. Now, if you want to unlock even more for this scheme, you need to check out my website, Scheme Kings. Now, up today is part 2 of this Tebow scheme, where I break down 8 more plays out of these 3 formations to allow you to be even more explosive and add a ton of variation to this Tebow offense. Then also on the site is a ton more for this mobile QB offense, including part 2s for the Vick, Lamar, and Cam Newton schemes. Now, if you want to check out Scheme Kings, I will leave a link for it down in the description below. Now, though Tebow was known as a runner, he was still a very capable passer in college, and with defenses always having to worry about his running plus mixing in play action, the Gators were able to hit a ton of big plays down the field, and he was able to average over 9 yards per attempt over his 3 years as a starter. The first play we are looking at is PA read and spread double flex, and this is a great zone beating play. For this, come out with your whip to the short side, then take the outside receiver on that side and put him on a streak and motion him in. Now, first you want to read the flat defender on that side of the field, and if at the snap he starts dropping back, then you can just fire it into the flat right away and pick up those easy yards. Then if after the snap you see the flat defender bite down on the whip, then you have the shallow cross coming from the other slot receiver that will get in behind the flat defender, and you can fire this in. Then if after the snap you see the user stays on the shallow cross, then you can look to the Z post coming in behind him. The streak should pull back the deep blue defender, and this is a great way to pick up some big yards over the middle of the field. This is really going to force the user to stay back over the middle, or there's just going to be a huge hole in the middle of the field to pick up easy yards. Next, we have FL cross in spread double flex. Here we want to have the corner route to the short side, then take the outside receiver on that side, motion him in, and put him on a streak. Next, take the outside receiver on the wide side and put him on a drag. Then lastly, block your running back. First, look to the short side corner route, and he is going to get in behind flat defenders, and the deep blue defender will get run off, and you can just fire this in along the sideline. This will get open against any cover 2 or cover 3 zone unless they have their zone drop set super far back. If not, just fire it in over their head. Then if the flat defender is getting under the corner route or you are feeling pressure, then you can check it down to the drag over the middle and let him make a play. Then if the user or the hooks bite down on the drag underneath, then you have the dig coming in over the top. That is a great third option, attacking the middle of the field, forcing the user to stay home. Next, we have PA read again, but this is how we use it to attack man coverage. Here, have the whip to the short side again, then motion the outside receiver in and put him on a slant. Now, our first read here is the whip. These are my favorite routes to attack man, and they get consistent separation to the outside and let you rack up really easy yardage against man coverage. But if they do shade down their coverage on the outside, they can cover up these whips. That is when we want to look to the middle of the field at the shallow crosser. This is going to get great separation from man coverage, and if the user isn't playing over the middle, you can hit it for super consistent easy yards and even bust it for really big gains. Then if you do have time in the pocket and they have no one playing deep safety over the middle, you have this super sharp cutting Z post that gets great separation against man coverage. You can hit it quick over the middle, or you can give it a little more time and let your receiver rack up some huge yards after the catch. This is going to force them to keep a safety back, or you will make them pay for big gains. Now, though the Gators would use Tebow as a weapon in the run game at any point in the field, he was used the most around the goal line, where he would truck stick defenders, and he was the Gators' de facto goal line back. Over his 3 years as a starter, he had 49 rushing touchdowns, including an incredible 23 rushing touchdowns in one season. Now here we have a 2-play goal line mini scheme with the plays QB blast and wide receiver screen in the formation empty quads. Now first, come out in the play QB blast with your quads to the wide side of the field, and if the defense stays spread out wide with less than 6 players in the box, then you just want to keep the ball and get downhill with your QB right away. This is a great way to score easy touchdowns if they stay spread out to match your formation. But if the D collapses down on the QB, then you can audible over to wide receiver screen. So if they have 3 or less players out over the screen side, then at the snap you just want to fire it out and let your receiver get in behind his blockers, and you will score a ton of easy touchdowns. Now if they're in off coverage, you can also look to the backside slant, and if everyone collapses, then you can fire it out to the slant on the outside. Combining all these different facets of their offense allowed the Gators to win 2 national championships with Tebow, and he will go down as one of the greatest legends in college football history. But to really use this Tebow offense to its full potential, you're going to want to add a speed element to your offense, and who is better than Lamar Jackson, one of the most exciting players ever. So watch this video right here so you can learn how to run the Tebow and Lamar offenses at the same time.